Hello and welcome to QuickBooks End of Financial Year 2022 mini series. My name is Amanda Newton and I lead the sales and marketing functions for Intuit's Rest of World portfolio, which spans across 160 countries across the globe. I'm a former Australian registered tax agent and a co-founder of an accounting practice that I've started many years ago, focused on small business compliance and advisory services. I know firsthand what it takes to enter into a busy tax season, what it looks like, what it feels like, and I really thank you for taking the time to spend with us here today. Over the next 9 days, as part of this series, we'll be bringing you our most requested topics in short, bite-sized chunks that you consume, hopefully, over your morning coffee. We're committed to providing you with all the tools and knowledge you need to be set up for success this tax season and beyond, ensuring that you'll be well equipped and have your clients ready for tax time. So for those of us joining us for the first time today, Intuit is the parent company of QuickBooks, and we sit alongside TurboTax, Mint, Credit Karma, and our most recent acquisition, MailChimp, which is a marketing automation platform. Intuit was founded in 1983, and we're the largest cloud accounting company on the planet, with over 5.6 million subscribers across over 200 countries. As a global business, for context, we spent nearly $1.4 billion in research and development back in 2020, and we continue to enhance our products and services to meet the needs of our evolving customers. Many of these investments are focused squarely on artificial intelligence and data science, and we are constantly planning new products or features that will do even more to help the users of our platforms. And as a simple reminder of the breadth and functionality of our QuickBooks Online platform, You can see here that for one fee, a full functionality platform exists, including our highly valued inventory, cash flow projection and projects tools, as well as excellent customizable reporting. QBOA is our accountant-only product and is complementary for pro advisors, providing additional suite of tools and functions to manage your teams, your workflows, and your practice. It's everything you need built in with no add-ons or bolt-ons required. And of course, via our apps marketplace, you can access third-party platforms that link and sync with QuickBooks, adding to the customization and the power of our platform for you and your small businesses. So if you're new and you want to see a demonstration, please reach out to us at the end of today. So what can you expect from over the next 2 weeks? Well, some of the topics that we're going to cover include QuickBooks tips and tricks and efficiency hacks for the best use of our platform, how to market your practice and grow, how to deep dive in on those difficult, tough client conversations, and of course, how can you be working with your clients to encourage them to switch to the cloud, and of course, how do you data migrate in a way that's seamless and best for your customers. We're going to close out on Friday, the 4th of Feb with a big close. This is our product update session, and by sure one not to be missing. We'll be talking about all the features that have been enhanced over the last 12 months. And of course, as a special preview, we're going to have some new feature announcements that we're excited to be able to bring to South Africa. So if you've not already registered for the remaining sessions, please head over to the registration page, sign up for all of the sessions, and make sure that you're catching that last session on the Friday. We'll drop a link into the chat now to make it nice and easy to get there. We also want to make this fun. And so remember, as you're going through these sessions, we're going to have lots of chances to win e-gift cards. And of course, at the end, we're culminating into a MacBook Pro. Be sure not to miss that you will have received your workbook via email, and you can download that from the chat now if you haven't already done so. This workbook is going to help you keep track of your daily learnings and note down the actionable insights from each session in an easy to keep way. And this means that you're going to be in a position to start putting into practice much of what we're talking about over the next couple of days and really get ahead and make things simpler. Of course, there's going to be a daily code word given out at some point during each of these sessions, and we want you to write those down. And they'll add up to a sentence, and the first person that's going to email through that sentence at the conclusion of these sessions is going to get that MacBook. We want to keep it fun and have a winning experience. So we'll be seeing you back at that product update at the end, where we'll be able to announce the prize winner. But what we're here for today? Well, we're here to talk about the state of the industry, and I'm joined with some really esteemed speakers who are going to help talk through what we should be doing to be best prepared for the tax season ahead. So we've got Nadine Augustine with us, co-founder of Ecom Accounting Solutions, who's a TWN and specialises in the hospitality industry. We've got Lauren Deploy, director at Ray & Associates, also a TWN, who's passionate about moving people over to the cloud. Tamron Dix is the owner of Farsight Accounting, and having suffered from burnout herself, she has a real passion to help people create businesses that don't result in burnout. And she's been with QuickBooks for over 24 years. And lastly, we've got Francois Myberg, owner of Gautax, QB user since 1997, and one of our first to ever move over to the cloud. And QBO has really helped his business survive through COVID. Many of these people are going to be familiar to you all, and I'm super excited about what we're going to be able to unpack today in one of these short bite-sized sessions. So I want to say welcome to you all and thanks for being here. I'm going to start with you, Francois. So as one of QB's first customers here in South Africa, what are some of your key learnings that you can pass on to other accountants as they step into what is going to be a busy tax time?
From our side, been using QuickBooks very long time, and now with the QuickBooks Online with great features, we feel we save a lot more time in bookkeeping, and we have a lot more time for tax planning. We can do it on a monthly basis. So when it comes to tax year ends, especially provisional tax, we can do a lot more accurate estimates, and that causes less penalties. Now when it's very busy time, our information is accurate. Because we migrate all our documents into QuickBooks Online, we have supporting documents, so you can quickly see if something is under repairs and maintenance should be capitalized. So it helps to accurately record for your reports, expenses and income for SARS. And you can actually directly upload documents from QuickBooks to SARS with the supporting documents if they do audits. It makes it so much easier. And we also, we start using QuickBooks for commission earners that are on salaries, people that's doing rental properties, sole trader businesses, contractors. You can get the easy QuickBooks for 99 Rand a month and incorporate that, upload all the documents, use it as a tool, and in the end, explain to the taxpayer that those guys can claim, some of them at the 45% tax bracket, can claim all these, most of the cost of QuickBooks back on their tax return. So it just makes it a lot easier, because this time of the year, you can really run around trying to find documents and things and get all the expenses together, and then it's all in place. So we really find QuickBooks amazing tool, excellent reports, best in the world, make our life so much easier in tax season.
I think, as you said, chasing around, I think all of us, succinctly nodded away saying you're absolutely right, that you could easily just spend hours and hours chasing documents. And there's nothing worse than that second or third time that you have to ask the client for the same thing that you've asked. And of course, it's a hard stop and doesn't allow you to progress forward. So yeah, it's great to hear that you can make the system work in terms of creating a better customer experience, but also keep your workflows going. And I heard you mention that, obviously the benefit of having looked at your files throughout the year also means that this season doesn't get too overwhelming, because there shouldn't be too many surprises. Is that right, Francois?
That's correct. So I think keep your accounts up to date. It's like a just-in-time environment. You can spend daily on the books through our book, all our staff. They keep it up to date. Even for the businesses, coming February now with business provisional tax, your account is up to date, you've provided for the taxation, your client knows what to expect. It's not a surprise to suddenly pay a lot of money and they didn't know about it. So report those taxes during the year if there's payable, so they expect it. And also your VAT, your client know when you pay your VAT over exactly what the amounts are. It's not like, because they have access to QuickBooks Online, it makes it so much easier in communicating things to your client.
Completely. Tamarin, we're talking about how easy it is to simply get into the nitty gritty, and that workflow is important to be optimizing that. So what kind of tips have you got, and what have you experienced to help make that whole process just as smooth as it possibly can under all of that demand?
I think the more you can get automated, the better. So the more you can integrate your apps and have your workflows actually working for you in the background, especially for admin or drudge work and things that can be done by software or can be done by a computer. The more you have that set up, the better your life will be. It does take time to set it up though. So if you haven't got them in place now, I would say the main thing you should focus on is actually tracking your workflow. Make sure you have something that shows you where everything stands at every moment in time, which clients have supplied paperwork, which ones you have sent calculations to, which ones have approved the calculations, which ones are submitted. Having something that shows you that progression will make your life a lot easier than having to quickly look through 20 emails every time you want to see where a client is standing. Even if you're just doing it in Excel, that's what I used to do. I used to just have an Excel document and I just filled the blocks with color as something progressed. And then you open the document and you see colors and you know where everybody is at any given time. Make sure you're tracking that workflow. It'll make your life just so much easier to have that overview.
And it seems like simple advice, but actually in reality, it's quite difficult to adhere to that, isn't it? We all know, we all trust our minds. We all usually have a very good sense of where your clients are at and what they're doing, and you know it off rote. But it makes it awfully difficult to then delegate that experience out to some of your teams. But it also means that that's a lot of your brain space that's really holding on to information that just doesn't need to be held on to. Have you found that, Lauren? Have you got systems and tools that help you keep that process streamlined, and how are you using those?
Absolutely. And I was just nodding away because the biggest thing that takes up the most amount of time in our practice is exactly what Francois spoke about. It's literally chasing clients for paperwork. We sometimes really battle to get them to understand the importance of it. We have a client who was just registered for that. And for the last 6 weeks, I've spent chasing them for their supply invoices to see what's claimable and, to be able to upload it to SARS. And we're just getting no response. So, for us, we have to make a decision about what kind of clients we want to work with. But we spend a lot of time implementing systems with our clients and trying to automate that kind of stuff. And then I had to look internally and see what we were doing internally that wasn't automated. And the biggest thing was managing our clients in our database. I was like, we're spending days and hours trying to track it. And me, as I look after the team. So now I've got to have a spreadsheet for every team member, for every client, for my client, for the business. I came back this year really revitalized, feeling fresh. I had a long break in December because I felt like over COVID, I know Tamron spoke a bit about burnouts, and I didn't even realize that I had burnt out the first year of COVID, except when I had the time to look back and reflect. And I don't think that we actually acknowledge in our industry what a responsibility we have to ourselves and to our clients and how we actually take that all on. So COVID really burnt me out. It burned me out, emotionally, professionally, in my family. It was really, really tough. And I had to look back and think what kind of year we wanted to have this year and how to make it easier. And for me, mental wellness was a number one thing that we had to tackle in our practice. So we implemented a 3-part series that I'd love to share with you. And I've asked our team just to, there's also a handout that I want to share with everybody. So I've asked them just to include it today. So you should be able to download it from the chat. And for me, there's 3 parts. So it's just to reflect, to create direction, and then to take action. And I'll tell you a little bit about that. And also just to speak about, so I said I came back this year and I felt really revitalized. And then we started having client sessions. And I was like, thank goodness I felt revitalized, because I think a lot of the time as an accountant, you really want to partner with your clients. So you become their cheerleader. You have to literally, they had to feel that drive from us. So we did come back to a few clients that were despondent, and we just really helped them implement like 1 or 2 changes in their company, and it's made a massive difference. And at the end of the first week, I felt a bit flat. So I was like, what's going on? I had to reflect. And it all comes down to mental wellness. And for us, being the head of our firms or the head of the team, or even just one person as part of a team, you have to make sure that your mental wellness is your number one priority, because you can't, we all know the saying that you can't fill from an empty cup. But what that actually means is that if you just keep giving and giving and giving, you will literally burn out and run out. So just make sure to take care of yourself. And then, just a few little things that I just wanted to explain what I mean about my 3 steps. So the reflect is the first step, and this is literally about having a conversation with your team. So how many of us sit down with our team and talk about the kind of things that they felt really, affected them during the financial year end? Because let's be honest, we are literally going into crazy time at the moment. So we know January, February, March, it's full out. We really have to be the best that we can be. So it was to reflect on the 2021 year, just some feedback on what they felt, how they thought that things could be different, and just to discuss the importance of mental wellness and what that actually means. So we had the most incredible conversation with our team, and I loved their feedback. So their feedback helped me on the next step, which was to create direction. So we wanted to be able to set goals. And I heard a saying over the December holiday, because I had a break, but I did do some reading and some research. It was about feeding my soul. And one of the things that I read was that the speed of the leader is the speed of the team. So you want to make sure that the kind of energy and the kind of input that you're giving to the people around you is positive, to be able to set a good example. You don't want to hear your team. You don't want your team to hear you complaining about a client or complaining about, you having to follow up again. So even though that is frustrating, just to make sure that you're setting a good example. And the way to do that is to make sure that you are looking after yourself. So just to keep your cup full. I also think it's really important to empower your teams. Just make sure everybody knows the software really well. We've had some new team members that have joined us. So our focus is really to make sure that they feel confident in what they're doing. And then just to make sure that you're creating a checklist for each of the engagements, for each of your clients. Some are compilations, some are reviews. So just to make sure that your team is prepared with all that information. And the last one is just to take action. So you want to give a talk. For any of you that have heard me speak before, you know that we don't keep timesheets in our practice. So I'm taking that one step further this year, and I'm giving the employees power over their time. So I want them to be able to implement their hours that they want to be working. We work with a lot of millennials, and we've realized that maybe they don't work so well early in the morning. So we want that to be flexible for them over busy times. So I've asked them to go out and come back with a plan on how they want to work over the next 3 or 6 months. So that's been amazing to see. And then just to have a very clear plan with each of your team members. They are 100% aware of every client they're working on, what their expectations are, set those goals out, and help them come up with a plan if they want, or they can plan it on their own, what their diary is going to look like. And then just to make sure that your team know that you're there to support them, that you have an open door policy. We do short daily check-ins, and then we do a big team meeting on a Monday. And the last thing was just to do some physical activity. So when we, my last little thing, when we went into lockdown in South Africa, a lot of our team are single people, they live on their own. So for me, I was really worried, how are they going to stay motivated? How are they going to be looking after themselves? So we implemented a short exercise regime every morning with them, and we did fun stuff. We did yoga, and we did Pilates, and we did Tai Chi, and we did bio, and we did like really cool stuff in the morning. And when we came back to the office, we definitely lost that a bit, but we've decided to set up a Ray hiking club. So we're going to be going hiking. It started once a month. Let's see if we can kick it off more. But it's really just to stay motivated and do stuff as a team outside of working in the office and outside of our clients' work. We carry a lot as accountants, as what I said before. We're not only carrying our business, our work, we're also carrying a lot of our client stuff. So just to make sure that you're mindful of that. And as team leaders or practice owners, just to make sure that your positivity and good energy is just feeding down to the rest of your team. And if anybody is feeling like they're not coping, that they know that they can come to you. I hope that helps.
Wow, Lauren, that is amazing. So what I can hear firstly is you've got a good sense of discipline, right? And the discipline around knowing what you can do. And I'm very sure that in order for you to come up with those 3 things that you're focused on, there's also a lot of other noise that you've decided to just move to the wayside, right? This is important. This is how you're going to set yourselves up through this really busy time. And that sort of that discipline of knowing where to focus is absolutely amazing and critical. The other thing I'll pick up on is the fact that burnout sneaks up on you. Right. So to your point earlier, and again, Tamara, I know that this is space that's you're passionate about as well, is that burnout, it's easy to sit on you listen to this and think, oh, I haven't had burnout, but actually it sneaks up on you, and it can come out in ways that are, it might be the way you're responding to emails, or the length of your normal wick of what you can put up with is shortening. That's what burnout looks like. And so it is, and if you haven't had some version of burnout in the last 2 years, goodness, the world has had, it's had its fair share, right? So that's extraordinary to recognize that not only you're filling your bucket, but you're going to help keep those nice clear lanes for your teams around what's important, how they focus, how you set them up for success. That's brilliant. Thank you for sharing that. Nadine, I want to make sure that, go for it, Tamara.
Can I jump in very quickly?
Yes, you can, go for it.
Just that thing about not recognizing burnout, because it's true that it sneaks up on you and you don't necessarily recognize it. I can share in the link, I have a quiz that people could take if they want to.
Brilliant.
That will give them
Absolutely.
an indication where they are sitting in the burnout phase.
But
also I love Lauren's idea of the hiking club, because if you can do nothing else for yourself in a busy period, go outside, because
Yeah.
15 minutes of sunshine will change your day and
Yeah.
your sleep. So
Yeah.
I think the hiking club is amazing.
Yeah. And I love that we can talk about these things in an accountant's form. This is, I mean, 20 years ago, these things weren't discussed. It's critical. It was important 5 years ago. It's critical now because, as you said, you're coming into a busy season, and it's been 2 years of, sustained, challenges. So, it really is, everything you've got to give is being given and then some. So that's super important. Quiz is brilliant. Your handouts, absolutely. Nadine, we are still talking about coming to the end of that pandemic, and people have been working from home and they're missing those valuable face-to-face meetings. So when we're thinking about tax season and working remotely and still working remotely, how have you found the best way to adapt to that environment, and what's your tips for making not only the customer experience good, but also how do you help yourself and your teams through those processes?
So I think everybody's getting tired of the whole Zoom meetings. It's getting a bit redundant and people are tired of sitting in the meetings and watching everyone talk on. So we found sending our clients little bite-sized videos and explaining. So we do it throughout the month. So we'd send them a little message saying, okay, this is what's happening. We're trying to now introduce little physical meetings. We're doing a mix of working from home, coming into the office, because as you said, Lauren, a lot of our team members, even here in the office, are single. So they are living at home. And we've seen that, we've even asked the staff, do you prefer working from home? Do you prefer working in the office? And they said they like a mixture of it, because working from home constantly can be a very stressful thing on your mental health, because you're sitting in your room or in your office, wherever, and you're looking at the four walls. So we're really trying to introduce a little mix of coming into the office, interacting here, and then being at home. And we see productivity is really doing very well with that mix. So when we're in the office, we interact, we do some training together, brainstorming, figuring out stuff like that. And when everyone's at home, it's really pushing out the work. With our clients, we're also now trying to, a lot of them are requesting some more face-to-face meetings. So we're trying to do that a little bit more. But yeah, it's more engaging through small bite-sized videos, putting through more information out there, sending them reports that already has information. And then if they have questions through that, then they come out and ask, okay, can we discuss this point and that point? And with tax season coming out, because we've given them the right tools and information to use throughout the year, there's no need for, okay, let me drop a box of stuff over at your office. Everything's all electronic, online. So it's a much more seamless process, and everybody knows what's happening when. So it's a much more easier conversation, I think.
Yeah, so I think, you've highlighted before, obviously this is not the first tax season we're coming into this space. I mean, we all hoped it was going to be different, but it is still what it is. And so, I think you said your clients have sort of got familiar with how to do this. Francois suggested, you should be touching base throughout the year. We should be getting a bit more familiar for working in this environment and kind of keeping up those efficiencies. But above all, really looking after ourselves, our people, and our clients, so that we can kind of really make it through. We are holding on to what you've said, Nadine, and we're making these small and bite-sized. So I'm going to say thank you so much for all of you joining us. I hear that mental health and well-being continues to be obviously that number one thing. So as we go through this busy tax season, use all the tool systems, share amongst yourselves, connect in with your communities, and continue to do a great job through this tax season. Thank you very much for being with us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes.
So as we wrap up for today, I just want to say thank you for all of you joining us online for our first of our mini series. Of course, we'd love to give you some actionable insights, and we'll be doing this each and every time throughout these sessions. So please, from here, make sure you've registered for the rest of our sessions. Each of these will start to deeper dive into a topic that we know is relevant and has been asked for. Download your digital workbook so that you can be keeping track along the way. And of course, capture today's code word, which is setting up. So today's code word is setting up. We want to keep this fun, we want to keep this engaging, and we're looking forward to seeing you on our future sessions. And for those of you who are not a pro advisor, may I just suggest that it is free to join us as a partner with QuickBooks, and there's some key advantages around your dedicated account manager being able to assist you with free migrations, being able to work with our teams around specialist service deliveries, and of course, the ability to make use of our exclusive Pro Advisor pricing of 50% off our recommended price, and there's no minimum purchase. So being a Pro Advisor, your very first file right through to your 1,000th and beyond will be 50% off recommended retail. So you can take advantage of that and ensure you're setting up your small businesses for success with QuickBooks. We'll continue to back with you over the next couple of weeks and look forward to seeing you on our future sessions. Thanks for being with us.